My name is Eddie Lucio Jr. I'm State Senator for District 27 here in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. I'm here, I was asked to come so I could interact with parents and children with special needs. Over the years, I've been able to pass legislation to address issues with autistic children. I've worked with my son on other issues dealing with Down syndrome, but we realize that there are individuals that have special needs that require funding in our public schools. That could lead to a better quality of life, and that's something that is very dear to my heart, as well as my son, who has worked over the last 12 years himself in the Texas House. But I did receive an award from the ARC of Texas this last week in Austin for legislation that I supported, and also for the overall support that I've given people in Texas with special needs. It's always important for me to know not only what is needed in the valley, but what's needed in every sector of the state, every corner of the state. One of my employers, Sergio Zarate, has a child with Down syndrome, and I really hired him so that he could, be my liaison and my representative in the special needs communities within my senatorial district. But he's well known statewide. I was very impressed with the people that I met from other parts of the state who have met Sergio and have worked with Sergio and who have informed Sergio of their issues when it comes to special needs children. And that is a lot of help for me. So he has done a wonderful job. I'm very proud of him, and certainly it gets me to better understand and be better prepared so I can serve that special community. When I first knew about Driscoll, years and years and years ago, actually when I was a state representative, I traveled to Corpus. I even took a very dangerous flight. One morning, it was inclement weather, but I still boarded the plane because I knew that I was going to go visit the Driscoll Hospital in Corpus Christi. And I was really anxious to take a tour and to visit with some of the kids there that actually were from here, from the valley. It's a pretty good move to partner up with Driscoll and work with their experts and their professionals. We need to bring services to the children and to people with special needs, because their lives are much different. They struggle, many of them, to be able to make ends meet, because their total investment in life is for their children and for their family members who have special needs. And we need to be as considerate as possible to invest in time and effort and funds, resources to make their lives a little bit better. Well, I think we need to take this issue all the way to the top, to the leaders, national leaders who actually can make a huge difference as well. Many of the funds that come through the state at times are federal funds. They come from Washington. I think from the president down, they should show as much consideration as possible. And it's a time in our life that we can really show whether we care or not, because these are children who were born with special needs, and we need to be as compassionate as we can. We need to understand that we have a moral obligation, a moral duty for those of us that serve in public office, especially, because we're the policymakers, we're the decision makers. We are the ones who decide whether or not we're going to address their needs. And it's time for us to establish partnerships with school boards, more importantly with the family, and then school boards, and then with our school systems and our state governments, our local units of government, all coming together to make sure that we do the right thing for these very special people in our country. It's time for them to know that they're part of our Texas family, they're part of our American family, because after all, we are one country, one family.
at Driscoll Health Plan, our goal and our focus and our mission is to make sure that we are providing the best quality of health care, but not just the best quality of health care. It's developing that relationship with you. It's getting to know who you are as a family, as a unit, getting to know your child and every need that they have.
As we gather together and form the partnerships that are necessary to help our children with special needs here in the Valley and throughout our great state of Texas. I want to thank, first of all, Driscoll Hospital, the Driscoll organization, and I want to re-express tonight my total commitment, not commitment, but total commitment to do everything I can to continue to work with you, with our educators, with our leaders in our state, in every community, at every level of government, to make sure that we come together and do the right thing for our children with special needs here in Texas.
My name is Luis Sanchez. I'm Senator Lucio's Chief of Staff. We are here to hear from you. Hear about the challenges of your daily lives, how the state can assist in improving the lives of children and families with special needs. We are going to be the diligent note takers to take all the information that you provide for us today, share it with our analysts in Austin, and hope that the contribution and the input that we receive from you turns into good public policy for the state of Texas.
I'm hoping that the senator can do what he can to bring this issue to the forefront.
We cannot do anything that we do without you all. We actually had Elizabeth host this event tonight to be able to hear from the parents, from the community. I'm just so humbled and thankful today. So thank you all so much.
Tonight we had a lot of parents here that were able to unload and say what it is that affected their families, affects their children, and in a setting that matters. Somebody like Senator Lucio who can change and effectively introduce legislation to help our families. So we are very grateful for the time that he gave us and more than that, the effect that can happen from a meeting like this. You know, the passion that came out of this room is very important because it's what affects change. And tonight you had a senator here that can do that. And so a lot of times as a parent, even myself, we find that the schools are not doing enough or an agency doesn't do this or that. Sometimes it is restricted by state law. And in a setting like this and for a senator that we have, he is able to change that. And so there was a lot of hope that came out. Although there was frustration, you could see a lot of the parents that saw maybe a light at the end of the tunnel, and we hope that that's what tonight will have brought. Now, as parents of special needs children, we always wonder, we can't be there with them, and they're so vulnerable that we feel almost handcuffed and that we don't know, we can't save them. I also have a child who is perfectly fine, and he will tell me everything. Sometimes too much, but that camera bill has really changed a lot of safety issues and give you a peace of mind as a parent. I know that we spoke tonight also about sports for children with special needs, and that's something that we're going to be working on. It's time that the civil rights of these children are addressed. We've addressed the civil rights of women, people of different colors and of different nationalities. And yet our kids keep being left behind when things are moving forward for everyone else. So this is the place to speak about that, to talk about that, and effectively change their future.
And so that's what was done today. We were able to hear the wonderful stories and the wonderful testimonies of our families, of you as a community entirely. And we were able to have questions answered, have those long-standing concerns addressed. And I know that from today and everything that was mentioned, we are about to start and embark on something wonderful here.
We can't do this without Driscoll, the health plan, and the administrators, Lisbeth and Victoria Morales, because having partners like that makes all the difference in the world in our parents. You feel like you have somebody that can help you, that can speak for you, that cares about you. And so although there is a business side of this, inside of these walls are a lot of people who really, truly, truly care beyond their job description, beyond the hours of operation that they come. And tonight was a perfect example. There were so many employees here that were part of this night, and they weren't here because somebody told them they had to do. They wanted to be here because these are the parents that we serve, and they care about those kids so much. And so, Driscoll, you are a friend of the family. You truly are a friend of the family.